morning, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. The Cubs finish the 2025 season with a nice 2-0 victory to finish the Cardinals off in a nice sweep. We are going to the playoffs. We knew that as of Saturday's win, but it was nice to keep the momentum rolling, right? Javier Saad got the ball in the final start of the year. The pitching did its job. The offense didn't have to do too much. It was nice to see Seiya Suzuki keeping his bat hot for this potential postseason run as well. The Cubs tallied on an extra run at the end of the game, and that was all she wrote. So, absolutely a pleasure to be bringing you today's edition of Cubs Daily. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts down below. I want to hear your all overall season, right? It was an up and down season, believe it or not, for a 92-win baseball team. But we started off really hot, and then we kind of, we were middle of the pack in terms of, we were about 500, a little over 500. And then I think in September we started to really turn it around. The offense started to show sparks. The pitching came together. Obviously, in terms of health, it wasn't the healthiest year, right? Justin Steele out for the year within the first 6 games for the Cubs. And then, Shota Imanaga missed some times. Tyone had a couple of stints on the IL. Kyle Tucker was gone for most of September. Who else am I missing? I'm missing Cade Horton, just thrown on the IL as well. Miguel Amaya, who was being a humongous spark for this offense, was on the IL as well for a good amount of time. So it was just a tough battling year all around. Imagine if this team was able to stay somewhat relatively healthy, right? That's why you have to give credit to the performances of Colin Ray all season long. He was absolutely dynamite. Jameson Tyone, he did the damn thing all season long. So, again, kudos to this Cubs team. And, it kind of brings me to my second point here, right? Like, this was just a solid all-around team win today. I know you're like, 2-0. No, sometimes you don't have it, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? The Cubs sprinkled across 6 hits. They let up 6 hits. They didn't let up too much. And they got the job done, which is exactly what you want to see. I'm curious to see who's going to be on the postseason roster. Those I'm sure will be announced in a little bit. Maybe here on Twitter they'll have an answer for us soon. But it's going to be an exciting push. I do imagine Matt Boyd is going to be going game 1 in Chicago on Tuesday. He pitched last Wednesday, so he's going to have a little bit of rest here, an extra day or so. And then I believe Shota Imanaga will follow up in game 2. And, that does worry me tremendously as a fan, the way he's been pitching. But you know what? Maybe the switch flips, right, for the big moments, the big game. Padres have a struggling OPS against the left-handed pitching. So, hey, you never know, right? You never know how these series are going to pan out. The Cubs are minus 125 favorites to win this series. They're plus 1,200 to win the World Series, which, at some points during this year, you'd feel like, yeah, I think they could win the World Series. And at other points, you'd be like, I don't know if they would win the World Series. Winning the World Series is tough. It's not an easy thing to do. It does not happen all too often. Obviously, the Cubs have won 1 World Series in like 120-something years, roughly. So, again, it's not an easy task, but but all you need, especially these days, ladies and gentlemen, is a seat at the table, right? You just need to have a chance to win. And you know what? I personally, obviously winning the division would be nice. I like winning. I like the wild card. I like being in that position, especially since it's our first return to the postseason since 2020. Let's get our feet wet, right? Let's get a series win against the Padres. We're going to take on the number 1 seed Brewers. Again, this team is giving me shades of 2015, okay? The path is lining up nicely. And then, we're probably going to have to face the winner. I'm not trying to, eliminate the Reds right away, but odds are if the Dodgers take care of the Reds, it'll be Dodgers, Phillies on the other side, and the Cubs will only have to face one of those 2 teams to get to the World Series if we can beat the Brewers and the Padres. So, don't want to look too far ahead. We have to face this matchup with the Padres. Again, we should be able to take care of business. We have been the better team just the Padres have bigger names to the general baseball masses, I would say, right? Fernando Tatis Jr., one of the best players in all of baseball. Manny Machado, one of the most recognizable names out there as well. Xander Bogaerts, if you remember him from Boston. Mason Miller, one of the hot trade pieces during the regular season this season. So, again, go back to the Cubs and just this series win right here, right? The offense has been rolling. I know the 2-0 win doesn't seem like it, but before that, the offense has been picking it up. You know, they lost 9-7 to the Mets. They won 10-3 against the Mets, right? Then they scored 7 against the Cardinals on Saturday, 12 on Friday. Good upward signs for this ball club heading into October. So hopefully we can take care of the pitching and we can hit off the elite pitching that will be in the postseason, because that is what the postseason is about, ladies and gentlemen. And we are set to go. The postseason is going to begin Tuesday, and the first 2 games are guaranteed because it's a best of 3, right? Both games are going to be at 2:08 Central Standard Time. I'm not sure of the network. I think it's ESPN, but again, either way, 2:08 Central Time, right smack in the dab of the workday. But probably that's just about the time you're like, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to start thinking about other things. So get those AirPods ready, turn on Pat Hughes and the gang, and let's have a ball. I'm so happy postseason baseball is back at Wrigley Field. It's going to be absolutely electric. The vibes are going to be immaculate. I can't wait to watch the game. And I can't wait to watch this team play. You know, I think we can do this. I think we can absolutely knock out the Padres in 2, maybe get ourselves a nice rest day in between, and then prepare for Milwaukee. But, you know, that's why they play the games, right? That's why. So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because Tuesday's going to come here quick. Let's see. Do we have matchups set? That is also the other question. And I'm going to take a look here because, you know, I'm leaning Matt Boyd game 1, and I'm leaning Shota Imanaga game 2. Let me know in the comments section below, though, before they officially announce it, who would you go with game 3? Who should be the backup pitchers for each of these guys, right? Should it be Shota and Tyone, or should it be Boyd and Tyone, and then Shota and Colin Ray, just in case, you know, one of those pitchers comes up, you know, a little short. So it does. I actually called this earlier. According to MLB.com, Nick Pivetta is set to start game 1 for the Padres. The Cubs have not announced their starter yet. I'm sure we're going to get word tomorrow on that. But I said Nick Pivetta had the best pitching for the Padres all year. But, you know, he's not their biggest name, which, again, that doesn't mean anything, right? Baseball is a performance-based industry. Just because you have a big name does not mean you're going to do well. So, either way, the Cubs are set to go. Looks like they're going to be on ABC. It's going to be an absolute blast, and I think we're going to get it done. Of course, obviously, I'm the host of Cubs Daily. Of course I think we're going to get it done. I have a general good belief about this team, and that belief just comes from, I think, on a day-to-day basis, when we play opposing teams, I don't think we're going to win every game, because that's baseball. You don't win every game. I like how we stack up roster-wise. I like our players. I like where they're at in our progressions. Michael Bush turning up. Matt Shaw got a couple of nice hits. PCA found the power stroke as well. Seiya Suzuki homered all 3 games in the St. Louis series. Something you love to see going into October. So I'm going to leave you all with this final message. The last segment of today. Whether you've come to Cubs Daily as a lifelong Cubs fan, or you've found Cubs Daily as a recent Cub fan, whether that be this year, the year before, 2016, I don't know. First of all, I'm happy to have you here alongside this journey. This has been an absolute blast to record these videos for you guys every single day, pretty much. I know there's been a few days off, but I've had a lot of fun creating this content for you guys. But I'm telling you right now, this is what we play for. This, all 162. When you watch the Cubs on a daily basis, you think about how their play will translate to this month, to October. How will this team translate? I am genuinely curious to see. I think we have the power to do it, right? This is the first Cubs team to have 3 players hit 30 home runs since that 2004 club with Derek Lee, Aramis Ramirez, Moises Alou, and Sammy Sosa. This team has a lot of potential offensively and pitching wise, and we just haven't been healthy, which is just crazy to think about. And generally speaking, I've talked about it all year long, right? I want the Cubs to have that frontline ace, right? That guy that can just throw 101, give you 9 innings, just throw 120 pitches and shut the door. This team might not have that guy, but that doesn't mean they can't win the World Series. The Texas Rangers have bullied their way to a World Series with their offense a couple seasons ago. This team can do the exact same thing. If this team continues to remain hot into October, they're going to win a lot of baseball games. It's going to be a lot of fun this month. But if the bats cool off and they continue to kind of, or if they get restless and start, getting aggravated, chasing things, PCA has shown a lot of maturity over this last few weeks, right? He's been taking some more pitches. Obviously, he's going to swing at some pitches. He's very, very young. Baseball, guys, is a long-term perspective thing, right? Like, what PCA did this year, absolutely special, right? Second Cub player to ever have 30-30. I'm genuinely curious to see how he reacts next year and the following year when he continues to gain these experiences, because that is what makes you a really, really good baseball player, is when you got that experience blended with your talent and you maximize on that. So I don't want to look forward to that now. We get this current version of PCA. But this current version of PCA, as John Lester once said, maybe he's just dumb enough to pull it off, right? That's what he said about the 2015 Cubs and the 2016 Cubs. There's a lot of guys on the team that are just dumb enough. They don't know, right? Because once you taste that postseason baseball, there's no going back. Once I got that World Series championship, I dreamed of the World Series championship, right? You did too as fans. Once you got a taste of that champagne, you're going to sit here and tell me you don't want it? You don't want it again? There was fans, a few years ago that when we traded those guys away, like Bryant and Rizzo and Baez and Schwarber, you guys were, or I think we let Schwarber go, but like either way, we traded those guys away, and they were all up in arms because they wanted to honor the champions. Jed made the right move. There's no doubt about it. And I want another title. So whatever kickstarts that process, I'm all in for. If we have to do the same thing in 5 years, but we get a title out of this one, I'll do it again. And I'll do it again tomorrow. Because this is the month we play for. Legends are born in October, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what it's all about. I'm so excited for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You do not understand. So, again, share your thoughts. Share your favorite postseason memory in the comments down below. Let me know who you think should and shouldn't be on the roster. Let me know if you disagree. I'm sure we all are going to have our qualms. But either way, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. Because here's the deal. The stress starts tomorrow. So, hope you all have a blessed Monday. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.